The Kia Rio model was created on the same platform as the Hyundai Accent and shares many components and assemblies with it. Since 1998, both brands have been merged into the Korean concern Hyundai Kia. The hero of our material is presented in two versions, a 4-door sedan and a 5-door hatchback. Rio and Accent sedans compete with each other, and the Kia hatchback turned out to be more in demand among Ukrainians and is more common on our roads than the less practical Hyundai 3-door. For years after the appearance of the Rio, it underwent restyling. Its appearance became more dynamic. The interior was decorated with a new instrument panel and steering wheel, and the control of the ventilation and air conditioning system was equipped with servo lines. Many Rios have Ukrainian citizenship. They were produced in our country using the SKD method. Pre-styling versions were assembled in Lutsk, and after 2009, in Ilyachevsk. At the end of the release, in 2011, several batches of Korean-made cars were imported. There are comments on the quality of our assembly. Due to improper installation, the air conditioner tubes were frayed by the cooling radiator, which led to freon leakage, and there were also problems with the axle shaft seals and the driver's airbag. See weaknesses. In general, there are no complaints about the corrosion resistance of Rio bodies. Unless, due to the bombardment with stones, the paint of the hood is chipped off and over time these places rust. As for the condition of other body parts, there are comments only on the door handles. See weaknesses. At the same time, I would like to note the good passive safety of the model, despite the budget. According to the results of Euro NCAP crash tests in 2004, Rio won 4 stars out of 5 possible. Unlike some other competitors, Rio is narrow inside. The driver and passenger feel each other's elbows, and in the gallery for 3 people, even of average build, it's a little cramped. With a side view, the left A-pillar eats visibility a little. Otherwise, there are no complaints about visibility. The plastic trim is hard, but not squeaky. Noise isolation is weak, but the interior, made in dark colors, is more practical than in the related Accent. Koreans traditionally attract buyers with a pleasant cost/equipment ratio. This fully applies to Rio, which will please with the presence of an airbag, ABS, air conditioning, immobilizer, central locking, power windows and mirrors. According to experts, all salon equipment, as a rule, works without problems. Most often, under the hood of Kia Rio, operated in Ukraine, there is a 1.4-liter gasoline engine. A 1.5-liter turbo diesel unit is much less common. A gasoline 1.6L, the rarest in the line of engines of this model. In general, the Rio units showed their best side. No serious problems were identified in them, unless in the solar engine with high mileage, about 100,000 kilometers. Clogging of the valves of the exhaust gas recirculation (EGR) system was noted. The malfunction is manifested by a deterioration in traction, increased smoke, or problems with starting the engine. In this case, the valve needs to be cleaned. The engines do not cause any other troubles. The timing of gasoline engines is driven by a belt, which is recommended to be changed along with the rollers every 50,000 kilometers. Moreover, this limit should not be exceeded. There were cases of a belt break already at 52 to 55,000 kilometers, followed by a fatal meeting of valves with pistons. At the same time, on all units, the attachment drive belt should also be updated, and the pump, driven by the timing belt, is capable of going 150 to 200,000 kilometers. In a turbo diesel, the gas distribution mechanism is driven by a durable metal chain. Rio owners praise the solar unit for good fuel efficiency. In the urban cycle with mechanics, it consumes about 6 liters per 100 kilometers. In addition, thanks to the turbine with a variable intake geometry, the engine is highly elastic at different speeds, and thanks to the high torque of 235 Newton meters, which is already achieved at 1900 RPM, it has a locomotive traction. It feels even more responsive than the most powerful gasoline, although in fact a little slower, 11.5s to hundreds versus 10.2s. Another advantage is that this motor normally digests our diesel fuel. All Kia Rio have front axle drive and were equipped with 5-speed manual and 4-speed automatic transmissions. We have the most widespread, more affordable versions with mechanics. In general, these units prove to be reliable. The only characteristic problem inherent in both types of gearboxes is the leakage of factory axle shaft seals. According to experts, it is caused by poor quality domestic assembly. After replacement, there are no comments on the tightness of the seals. When buying a version with an automatic, it is important to know that this unit is afraid of slipping in snow, sand, etc. In this case, it easily fails. In this case, the differential may break, the main gear pin leaves its working position, damaging the diff parts and breaking the gearbox housing, or the oil pump and fluid coupling become unusable. Once in a road trap, it is necessary to move the selector lever to position L, first gear is engaged, and not allow excessively high engine speeds to be reached. In this case, the automatic transmission control unit will automatically switch on the next gear. Lubrication in the mechanics is changed every 40,000 kilometers, and in the automatic, every 60,000 kilometers, along with an oil filter. The chassis of the Kia Rio copes well with our roads, working out small and medium bumps confidently and quite comfortably. Thanks to a good ground clearance of 15.5 centimeters, this car can be driven both on asphalt roads and on a country road. McPherson independent suspension is used in front, a semi-independent torsion beam in the rear. In general, the suspension turned out to be quite durable. Most often it will be necessary to change only the bushings of the front stabilizer every 30 to 50,000 kilometers and the struts 70 to 80,000 kilometers. Ball bearings run on average about 80,000 kilometers. The front silent blocks of the front levers, almost 100,000 kilometers, and the rear ones, up to 150,000 kilometers. The rubber bands of the rear beam of the mechanics at the branded service station have never been changed. Reduces the cost of repair running a separate replacement of all consumables. A comment can only be made to the rear shock absorbers. There have been cases of their sweating with oil even with small runs. True, at the same time they are able to maintain their performance for a long time. Rack and pinion steering is equipped with hydraulic booster, unlike the related Hyundai Accent with electric power steering, which often created problems for the owners of this model. The Kia Rio node is reliable, no characteristic malfunctions have been identified in it. Even consumables, steering tips and rods, are able to go almost 150,000 kilometers. The braking system of simpler versions is equipped with front disc and rear drum mechanisms, while more expensive disc brakes are also used at the rear. The notes to the drums are the same as those of the Hyundai Accent. Over time, when the brake pedal is released, an unpleasant squeak may appear. In this case, cleaning of the drum mechanisms is required. Budget car, a solid 4. This is how you can characterize the Kia Rio. As domestic operating experience has shown, in general, this model has established itself as reliable, unpretentious, and quite adapted to our roads thanks to its energy-intensive suspension and considerable ground clearance. Used Rio can be recommended for purchase. They will still please their new owners.